Big update for Las Vegas Raiders fans. The NFL Draft is just 9 days away, and all eyes are on what the Las Vegas Raiders will do with their top pick. Right now, there's a lot of talk about Quinshon Judkins possibly going at number 6. Some experts think he's a strong choice, but the question is, will the Raiders use such a high pick on a running back, especially in a year where the draft class is full of good ones? Meanwhile, another important situation is developing. Before listening to the latest news, subscribe to the channel, like it, and don't forget to press the bell icon. Let's move on to the new news. Raiders left tackle Colton Miller, now 29 years old, is asking for a new contract. His performance last season wasn't the best, but many still see him as a top 10 left tackle in the league. According to NFL insider Albert Breer, there's no guarantee the Raiders will select Judkins. That opens the door for other options, like picking a strong defensive lineman or boosting the offensive line. If that happens, many new names come into play. Could Mason Graham, a top defensive talent, fall to the Raiders at pick number 6? This draft could shape the future of the Raiders, and fans should stay alert for what happens next. The Las Vegas Raiders hold the number 6 pick in the upcoming NFL Draft, and fans are buzzing with excitement and nerves. Names like Mason Graham and Ashton Jeanty are floating around as possible picks, and if either of them is available, it seems like a no-brainer choice, but the draft rarely goes exactly as expected. There's also talk about quarterbacks like Shedeur Sanders possibly going to teams like the Giants or Browns. That kind of move could shake up everything, especially the picks ahead of the Raiders. Here's the key message for fans. Be prepared for surprises. Just because one name is expected doesn't mean it's the right pick, or the one that will happen. Remember last year, everyone thought the Raiders would go for Michael Penix. Then the Falcons jumped ahead, and boom, plans changed. When it was finally the Raiders' turn, fans expected Quinyon Mitchell or maybe a Georgia defensive tackle, but the team chose Brock Bowers, and some fans were shocked, even upset. Why? Because it wasn't the name they had imagined. But just a few days later, those same fans realized what a valuable player he really was. Now, no one questions that move. So, when the Raiders are on the clock again this year, and the name called is someone like Jalen Walker, Will Campbell, or even a top lineman from Georgia, whether we stay at 6, move back, or go for a cornerback, take a deep breath. Because sometimes, the smartest pick isn't the one everyone expects. Anything can happen in this draft, and Raider Nation needs to be ready for surprises. Yes, there's still a chance that Ashton Jeanty could be the pick, but what if the Raiders are using his name to throw everyone off? Behind the scenes, they could be planning something completely different. Here's what's making things even more interesting. There's been talk that the Raiders might shift their focus to the offensive line. So far, they haven't made major moves at guard. And now, rumors are spreading that JPJ may not even play center. If that's true, changes are coming. Right now, Glaze looks solid at right tackle. But what if the Raiders move him to the left side? That would open the door for drafting a new right tackle, or maybe even grabbing their future left tackle with the 6th pick. Names like Will Campbell and the standout lineman from Oregon are being mentioned. And don't forget about defense. Some scouts believe Jalen Walker is just as talented, maybe even more, than Abdul Carter. That's big praise, especially since Abdul Carter is considered one of the most explosive defenders in the draft. On top of all this, there are reports that the New York Giants are open to trading back, and they've already received calls. If that happens, and quarterbacks like Cam Ward go early, the entire draft board could shift. The Raiders are in a powerful position, and they're keeping everyone guessing. Let's talk about a bold possibility that's gaining momentum around the Raiders. Imagine this. The Titans take Cam Ward with the 1st pick. That leaves 2 major stars still on the board, Travis Hunter and Abdul Carter. Now, here's the question. Should the Raiders trade up from pick number 6 to pick number 3? If it doesn't cost them next year's first-round pick, because this could be a rare chance to land a true game-changer. Travis Hunter and Abdul Carter are being called the only blue-chip players in this draft. That means they're not just talented. They're NFL ready from day one. Getting one of them could instantly upgrade the Raiders' defense or secondary and change the entire direction of the team. Sources say the Raiders' front office is seriously weighing their options. The idea of moving up is risky, but if it guarantees a superstar, it might be worth it. And then there's one more name that keeps circling around: Shedeur Sanders. All signs point to him still being on the board when the Raiders are up at 6. So now the team faces a big decision: stay put and take a quarterback of the future, or make a bold move to secure a defensive superstar. The Raiders are sitting in one of the most powerful positions in this draft. What they choose could define their entire season. The draft is getting closer, and the pressure is rising inside Raider Nation. The front office has some big decisions to make, and not much time to make them. Rumors are flying about a possible Jakobi Meyers extension. It's not official, but if it happens, it could add stability to the wide receiver room. Still, the team hasn't made a major move at wide receiver, and fans are starting to wonder what the plan really is. The biggest concern? There are still key holes on the roster, especially on the offensive and defensive lines, and of course at quarterback. And that's why more and more people are questioning the idea of taking a running back like Ashton Jeanty at pick 6. Yes, he's a great talent, but when you look at where this team stands, it feels like other positions need help more urgently. Even last season, with a struggling roster and quarterback injuries, the Raiders still managed to win 4 games. With a healthy QB and a sharper coaching plan, they could have easily won 6 or even 7 games. That shows this team isn't far from being a playoff contender. They just need the right final pieces. And right now, those pieces might be on the line or under center, not in the backfield. So while anything can still happen, momentum is shifting. And it's getting harder to believe that a running back will be the choice when so many other needs remain. If the Raiders decide to trade back, things could get really interesting. That move could open the door to picking up talented running backs like Quinton Judkins or Travion Henderson, and still get them in the second round. That's a smart strategy, especially in a year where running back depth is strong. Meanwhile, other positions don't offer that same kind of depth. That's why pick number 6 is so important. It has to count, and it has to fix a real problem on the roster. Everyone keeps saying it's going to be Ashton Jeanty, but here's the truth: no one knows for sure. And that's the beauty and the chaos of the NFL draft. Remember last year? No one saw the Brock Bowers pick coming. It shocked a lot of fans at first, but look how that turned out. He became a game changer for this team. This year's draft is even more unpredictable. There are more high-risk, high-reward players than ever, and the Raiders have to make a decision that sets the tone for the entire season. So, whether it's a player you're expecting or one that comes out of nowhere, be ready. Because one pick could change everything.